So I've watched Scary Movie 1 through 5, and I've seen Superhero Movie, and I think I've seen Meet the Spartans, and I've seen Disaster Movie, but I had not up until this moment seen all of Epic Movie. And Epic Movie, I'm really fascinated with these terrible movies where, like, especially the ones down the line. Like the first Scary Movie, I think a lot of people regard as a good, solid spoof movie. And after that, whether you think of the sequels or not, I really enjoyed the Scary Movie like 2, 3, and 4. But after that, and you can argue after the first Scary Movie, like these movies became parody to where they were not parody anymore. They were literally just showing things from other movies and making them comedic, but not really spoofing them in a way where it was spoofing them. They just showed scenes of like recreations of stuff. So, Epic Movie, I tried to watch this a long time ago, and when I got to the moment of the Centaur, Mr. Tumnus, doing the Cribs episode where it's showing his crib, I shut it off. And it took me years to re-watch it all the way through, because again, that's only like 20 minutes into the movie. But man, that moment, whenever I was younger, I was like, fuck this, I'm done. But I thought, I want to see how bad this one is. And yeah, this one's really bad. This is a very bad movie. It's really very terribly unfunny. And there's only one scene in the movie that I'll talk about later where I did laugh out loud. I thought it was hilarious. But the rest of this movie was just such a chore. And again, it's not really parodying movies in this one. It's like they're just showing things that are relevant in 2007. The main story is like these four orphans. Orphans are just... These four orphans are in different situations in different movies, and then they all find a Wonka candy bar and then go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like the one girl who's dumb, like she's in the Da Vinci Code, and like she finds a Willy Wonka bar. And then Kal Penn is like, his character is in the Nacho Libre movie, and then it leads to the Willy Wonka chocolate bar. And then the girl, I think Susan, I think her name's Susan, who is on Snakes on a Plane, and then she falls out, smashes Paris Hilton, who says, "I'm so hot," and then she finds a Wonka candy bar, and then this other character, Adam Campbell's character, just, he's an X-Men, and he finds a candy bar in a locker that he's the winner. So all four of these orphans are winners to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and it's literally like they're not spoofing them, they're just showing them doing the things from the other movies but adding comedy into them, but it's not in a spoofing way. And so they go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, where Crispin Glover is Willy Wonka, which is a really interesting choice, because Crispin Glover hasn't really been in much at this time period. And then they just keep going on with these jokes that aren't funny, because if you have any source of brain power, you know where this joke is leading. Like Kal Penn's character. They're in the chocolate factory, and he's like, "Oh my god, chocolate river," and like he starts eating, and he gets a chunk of something and starts chomping on it. And then Willy Wonka just says, "Oh, that's actually the sewage lake." And then, so it's like Kal Penn was eating a piece of poop for like a whole minute. And it's not funny, because you know the joke. You already know it's such a cheap joke. And then, like, all the Oompa Loompas go and, like, do all these wacky things to four of the orphans. And they literally hammer Kal Penn's nuts. And, like, two little nuts, like pecan nuts, like, actually fall down a ramp. And then they fall into the chocolate batter that's going to become, like, in the chocolate bars that have all nuts in them. Ridiculous. But then they go to Narnia. Again, it's like there's not really... It's like they're not spoofing it. They're just showing these movies again, but doing them poorly. So it's like they don't even have the same parody, like, way of parodying a movie. It doesn't feel like they're parodying anything. They just go, "Oh, we're in the Da Vinci Code, remember that? Oh, we're in Nacho Libre, remember that?" It's like there's not anything that's actually spoofing anything. It's just pointless. And they go to Narnia, and Lucy, the dumb girl, like, she opens the door to Narnia. It's the closet, and an avalanche of stuff falls out. And then, right after all the stuff falls out down, a random naked lady, fully naked, just looks around, then sprints out of the room. What is the point of that? Like, literally, there's no point of that. That's not even a joke. It's a joke. Oh, it's funny because she's naked? What does that even mean? Like, that's not a joke. You just put a naked lady in there, that's it. What's the joke? That she's naked and she runs out of the room? I don't understand. So we get to the cribs segment, and that's where I first turned off the movie last time I watched it. But I just kept going. I'm like, shit, I'm going to keep going. Let's go with this. And it lasts for a couple minutes with him showing off his crib. Nope. Oh, and the White Witch in Narnia is called the White Bitch because that's clever. Yeah, White Bitch and White Witch are so similar in name. Of course she's going to be called the White Bitch because these people who made this movie don't know how to make jokes. They literally can just change one letter, and that's comedy gold. And there's also a moment, it's just so, it's so, remember this, where the White Bitch is talking to Kal Penn's character, and she says, "This is my White Castle," and then it cuts to an actual White Castle, and Kal Penn says, "I think I've been there before." And it's just like, oh, you remember Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle? That's what that is. You remember that movie? Seriously, like, it's just so incredibly pointless with all of these jokes because they're just referencing stuff without even joking. They're just like, oh, look at that, White Castle. He was in White Castle. And then there is, this scene legitimately made me annoyed. They like go to Hogwarts to train, and Harry and Ron and Hermione are there, and like played by older people, so it's funny because they're old. They're too old to be here. And Hermione's pregnant and smoking, and she's like, Harry likes to get wasted and show off his sorcerer's stones. And then she just farts. And then it cuts away. And it's just like, so the joke is that she farts? Also that she said another joke? Like that he shows off his sorcerer's stones? Which is the most, like, stupidest way of saying a joke. We're just referencing something. It's not even adding a joke. It's just reference stuff. That's what makes me so mad about this movie. It's just references. But then other shit later in the movie, like they encounter Jack Sparrow, which honestly, this guy who plays Jack Sparrow, or Jack Swallows, that's what his name is, Jack Swallows in this movie. The guy who plays Jack Swallows, of course his name's that, he is uncannily just like Johnny Depp. Like, this guy is on point. Like, he looks and sounds exactly like Johnny Depp. It's kind of scary. This guy is great. Like, in just replicating Johnny Depp, he sounds exactly like Johnny Depp was. It's crazy. And then it's now Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're just singing and dancing on the pirate ship. But it's not a pirate ship. It's like a party ship, but they're just there drunken and being idiots. So, yeah. And then we go, whenever we go to the meeting before the final day of the battle, it's like, again, just references. They go and they're waving to all the people who are there to battle for him. And look, it's James Bond making the James Bond pose. Or look, it's a Wookiee. Or look, it's Borat with his onesie. Like, it's just references. There's no joke. That's what I don't get. There's no joke to this at all. It's just absolutely pointless. And I just don't get it. And then there's like a scene where Fred Willard, who's Aslan in this movie, but he's just Fred Willard with like a hairy chest that looks like a lion's chest. He has a threesome with 3 of the kids. Or kids, they're like adults, but they say they're kids. He has a threesome with the kids, and then he farts, and then he pulls them all under the blanket to smell the fart. And it's just so fucking stupid. I'm just like, come on. Like, there's no jokes that make me laugh. Except for this one scene, which I will now bring up. There is a pre-sex scene. You don't see the sex scene, obviously, but there's a pre-sex scene of Carmen Electra as Mystique and Adam Campbell and his character, like, she's trying to entice him and say, like, what do you want? Like, I can change into anything. And he's like, okay, give me big boobs and a big butt. And she goes, okay. And she makes her butt and boobs big. And then he says, give me, after he says, give me a big butt and give me big boobs, he says, give me a monobrow. And she's like, what? And he's like, monobrow, 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 monobrow. And I thought that was actually really funny. And then he says, now give me old lady arms, old lady arms. And then, like, she makes her arms all flabby. And it actually did legitimately crack me up in that scene, because I thought that was an actual funny moment, because it wasn't just references. I mean, it's using Mystique, a character from X-Men that can transform, but it was using a joke of, like, give her big boobs and give her, like, granny arms and make her fat. Like, it's childish, yeah, but the joke there I thought worked, and that's the only joke in the movie I thought that was funny. I thought nothing else was funny. And then, of course, they have the battle. They win, obviously. They use the click button. They use the click remote because Click came out in 2006. So, yeah, they had to reference Click. So they defeat the white bitch by doing all that. And then the end of the movie, they get back out of Narnia after they grow up, like they do in the Narnia movie. So they become normal adult kids again. And Jack Sparrow just runs by and, like, smushes them with that cartwheel thing he's got from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. And then Borat just, like, turns around and smacks his bare ass and then shuts the door and the movie ends. And I just sat there like, that's the way you end this. Well, I'm not surprised they end the movie this way, but it is just so stupid and inept. And again, there's nothing in this movie besides, oh, look at that reference. Look at this. Look at James Bond. Look at the Wookiee from Star Wars. Look, it's Nacho Libre. Look, it's Da Vinci Code. There's nothing but references, or there's just farts. There's just fart noises, like, or just easy jokes, like the white witch's name being the white bitch. Like, it's so utterly just so freaking lazy, and it's just so bad. And again, I did like that one scene. I thought that one scene was funny. But man, if you gotta tell me that this whole movie was good at all in any way, no. And that scene wasn't great, but it was funny. This movie was just so bad, besides that one little minute scene. I really didn't like this movie at all. I thought this was a horrible, horrible movie. And, like, I'm not really as pissed as it sounds. Like, I just really was drained by it, because it was just such a chore to get through, because I was just like, oh, they're not making jokes, they're just saying this thing that was relevant in 2007, but not in a way where it was funny. Like, if they, like, movies like Airplane, where they reference stuff, they do it, but they add a joke into it, and not just say, hey, look, there's that reference right there, look at it right here, look at it. That's what they're saying in this movie, just look at it. And I've seen Disaster Movie, and I know that one's worse than this one, from what I remember, but man, this one was just so freaking bad. So horrible. Man, just what a waste of time. But I do like to watch, whether it's good or bad, I do like to watch anything. So I did want to see this one just to get it off my list, because I did want to see if there was anything that I might like. And again, I liked one joke, one scene, but the rest of the movie, nope. Screw this. This movie is horrible. So that's my review on Epic Movie. Tell me down below what you think of Epic Movie. I don't like it. Maybe people will. I'm not going to judge you. Tell me if you like it or not. Thank you guys so much for watching.